Hello, this is Theresa and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to attempt to decorate this mini ephemera holder. Now I'm saying singular even though there are two here because I'm going to try to devise a way to, oh yes, I remember what I decided. Hello, this is Theresa and welcome to my channel. And I didn't turn the volume off, and that distracts me and probably sounds terrible to you. Now I wanted to connect these together, so I was trying to figure out a way. Oh, I remember what I decided. Okay, I need my Velcro, so I'm gonna have to walk. I forgot that I needed my Velcro. What I had decided to do, I was thinking I was going to put it there, and then that would connect together, and then this would go over both of them. So one belly band here, but then I don't like the idea of having these pieces on this piece. So I'm going to connect the belly bands together. That's what I'm going to do. And then we'll decorate. And then we'll put pockets in. And then we'll put some of the mini ephemera in that I have made so far. So I'm just going to put that neatly there. Because this silly plastic stuff won't come off, it's distracting me as to what I'm supposed to be doing here. So I hope everybody's having a great Saturday. I've been having a lot of fun playing lately. Okay, now. This isn't exactly what I had intended because I made this one bigger so it would go over both. So this may fall out of here. But once it's a little thicker, it'll be okay. So then I can pull these apart and use them. Alright, so far that's the way I want it. Hello Theresa, thanks for joining. Now, I've got a blank slate for decorating. This one only has one. This one has 3. Oh goodness, well, let's go ahead and put the vellum in first. Now one of the things that I've been thinking about lately is that I want to use some of my fun, whoops, careful you're going to tear it, Theresa. Some of my fun vellum that I have for pockets. So let's cut this up. The pockets for the most part are going to be inches will be good. Yeah, that's right. These are all 4 inches. Even this. Not so much. So I'm not putting any pockets there. I'm just going to put a couple pockets here. So this one can be about 3 1/4 inches. Trying to think what size pockets I want in each. So there'll be a pocket here and a pocket here. I will use this strip for that. So how's your day going, Theresa? Are you going to watch any of the other lives today, or have you watched some lives yet today? Oh, that is too small. Well, that's a bummer. I guess I could use one of them right there. I'm going to use Barely Art Blue for these. This may end up being a fairly long video because of the prep work that it's going to take. So feel free, for those of you who might be watching the replay, to scroll forward. Won't hurt my feelings. Now, I need a longer piece here. I want it to be like that. So is 4 inches going to be good for this? Yep, 4 inches is good for this. Oh yes. Crooked. It's crooked. This is probably going to be like watching paint glue or watching paint dry. Okay, that was a little too much there, so we'll just trim that off. Whoops. And I think there's room for one more here. I got these wrappers locally. Okay, put that to the side. Now, let's finish this one. Let's use this big piece down here on the bottom. So, I need some cheat marks. Right there, and right there. Good. Ah. My eyesight is not working worth a hoot for this. I'm going to try one more time. That's it. That's what it's going to be. Okay. Now, that's too short. That's too short. This is kind of short, but it'll work. Hi Brenda, welcome. So today I have my Facebook group listed on the screen. So if anyone is interested in taking a look at that group and maybe joining, you're more than welcome. That one's crooked. Ugh. I hope you're having a good day, Brenda. I'm not very chatty today. I don't have a lot going other than just crafting. It's mid-60s here today and very sunny, so very nice. Beautiful day. Now, something that just occurred to me is because I've never used this paper before, I don't know how strong it is compared to the vellum that I usually use. So, I hope that doesn't end up being a problem. Very nice, 70s. Hi, Beth. Thanks for coming over and taking a peek at my live. I'm just making a little mini ephemera holder, and I'm very focused, so not very chatty. Can really see how crooked that is with this other piece in there, but I want another piece in, so it is what it is. Once it's got ephemera in there, it won't maybe be as noticeable how terribly crooked that is. Do I dare pull it up? No, you will tear the paper. Don't. Just don't. Resist. Resist evil, Theresa. Don't tear that paper up. You'll mess up your project. Okay, now let's look at what we've got to put in these. First of all, a couple days ago, I started making flowers for little ephemera. That's not a flower. Go in the trash. So I have some Stampin' Up! Punches that I used to make these flowers with, amongst some other bits and bobs. So, whoops, I don't need that piece. I have some feathers, and then I just had a little cut off piece from here, and these are all from the punch, and then I have some pistons, flower piston type things that I put on there, and I sewed just a little bit there and there. I tried to do there, and I was going to finish the rest, but my machine didn't like trying to do this piece. So this one has and the Stampin' Up! Punches that I used, I actually can tell you in case you have them. They are the Pansy Punch, and the Small Bloom Punch. And then I have, I use these, but I think these are retired. And they came in a set, so they don't have individual names, but they're just cute little tiny flowers. And then sometimes I put a little lace on pieces and layered with some textiles. This is then cut out in different type papers, like my tea-dyed paper. This is tea-dyed avocado, and some book page and some scrapbook paper. Just a bunch of stuff. And this one has some fussy cuts from some Stampin' Up! Days. This one has a leaf, that's the back side, and some other stuff that was die cut. So just some various die cuts that I had hanging out. Hi Denise, welcome. And let's see now if we can find a home for these. They're a little bulky, so I'm not sure if this is going to work. And the pockets aren't really that big. That's a nice fit. And that. Okay, I was able to fit 3 in there. Okay, now I'm going to put these to the side because I don't want to I don't have a lot of space in these mini ephemera holders, so I don't want to use one all for little flowers because I've got some other stuff that I've been making during this series. Okay, we're not going to use that one. That's too big and bulky for these little delicate things. I think these might go in here. This paper that I made the little ephemera holders with is some Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper, I wish that would go down further. That one's better. Okay, and what if I tear some of this off? Make that fit. There, that all fits. Now we'll try putting some of these here. I haven't done anything with the tickets yet. What about my tags? These are my mini tags. And these are on another video. Any more of those? There's one. Okay. Now these little turkeys are going to be hard to figure out how to get in there. Oh, there's another tag. And we have these. I didn't do anything with this yet. Oh goodness. Let's try these here. What am I going to put in the back? Decisions, decisions. I haven't even, so this is kind of pre-made ephemera, but not totally. So I was thinking, wait a minute, would that fit on there? It's too matchy-matchy. I wonder if I can, I'm not going to try and ink it, but I am going to try this to outline it. This pen is drying out. try the other end. Wow, this is very dried out. Even looks dry. That's too bad. I'm gonna have to order another one because I like it a lot. So, forget that. Let's try my gold. Sticky. I kind of like that. Tear that, and we're going to tear that. And then I wondered, now, will that fit in here? Yes, it will. So, this one I just purposely colored part and then left the rest black and white because I liked the way that looked. I think it will be okay that there's a little overlap there, but I don't like the white. So let's see if I can knock off the white. Without tearing. Can't manhandle your mini ephemera. There, I like that better. Okay. that off and save that little piece. Just checking to make sure I don't have any exposed glue. And see if I can get that one to tuck in there. Great. Now where am I going to put these? These right here is where I'm going to put these. Oh, I'm going to do it right there. Nope. Better to do it this way. Can't believe I only have 2 of those. Do. Another one of these. Where's my pen? And I saw a piece where, oh, it's right in front of me. This one, I want to put something underneath it. Not a lot. I love how easy this tears. I wished I could remember who I got this from. I just love that stuff. Yep. pretty. I like that. However, I feel like I want something right there. Maybe a little inking. Yep, that's better. And these go right here. It's going to be tough to get that textile in. Yay! Perfect. Perfect for that spot. Now, what else do we have? We can start putting some of these maybe in here. That's what's nice about a tight pocket, is even when your piece isn't long enough to go in the pocket, it won't get hidden because the pocket's so tight, it usually won't go down too far. Those all fit good. I loved leaving these little edges on here. That's gonna look fun, I think, especially once it's inked up. You know me, I can hardly ever go without inking. Yep, I like that more. And then this might even look good on this too. Except I can't really draw a straight line anymore. But I can try. I might even use my sewing machine on these, some of these. That would look cool. Yeah, if I sewed, well, I can actually, my sewing machine, the thread is out and it takes me a long time to thread it. So, because I have troubles with the tension. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I have a Singer M1500 and I really have to fight the thing to get it to work. And I'm sure it's me. I'm sure it's my lack of knowledge about sewing machines. So I'm looking for my stamps. And I want my Stampin' Up! Faux stitches. I think I'll use this one. Where there's a will, there's a way. Hi, Carrie, welcome. So that looks pretty cool with faux stitching on it. Oops. And that's going to go in here. That'll give me an idea too how to decorate the other ones that I have like that. So then I have all my birds, birds, flowers, bird, 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 flower, I don't know what I did with that one. Bird, flower, bird. Trash, trash. Okay. And I've got a little pocket here that's empty. Okay, quit shaking, Theresa, and get it in there. Let's try them this way. Some of these are embossed, and that's fun. That fits pretty good. I might even be able to fit some more up here by moving some of these down here. It's a tight pocket. Ooh, I'm going to fit all the birds in here. Okay, now I can fit some of these over here. I'm even thinking some of this mini ephemera is going to work for my Christmas journal, maybe. Okay, let's stuff one more right there. And I don't know what I had these pieces for. I still have to figure out what to do with the tickets. No. Where's that gonna go? Just like that. Piece this together like that. Yes. Sure there's no sticky on the back, and I think I can fit this in here. Yes, I can. That made me super happy. Okay, so this can go here. That's just a blank that's ready to have something done with it. And actually I was thinking this, oh yeah, that does look cool, but I'm gonna have to ink it gently, very gentle. Okay, there's that one, and then do this one. Oh, thank you, Denise. When I first started doing cards, my husband would watch me sometimes, or even just writing in them. He's like, I don't know how you can do that with your hand shaking like they do, but you just get stubborn with yourself, you know, and when you have limitations, just be stubborn about it and say, I'm gonna do this, you know, and sometimes we don't do things because we're afraid people will witness our, what's the word I want? Our, can't think of the word I want. Our unsteady attempts, but we just gotta persevere through our trials and tribulations and be strong. I have a through our weaknesses, thank you. I have a plaque in my office that says, "For God hath not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." Now, I'm not so sure about the sound mind as far as I'm concerned, but we're still working on it. But I like a little crazy in my life. I don't know about you, but not so sure about my husband, but I like it. Well, and I'm very hopeful that if there's other people who have similar situations, like Joan, but she, Joan was doing videos before me. She had it handled, but she has familiar tremors too. So, I don't know, maybe we just encourage each other. I lost my needle, and I will never try to make a needle topper because of my shakes. I once in a while I'll do a teeny tiny little bit of beading, but oh my lord, like, okay, even just doing this yesterday, I made this pouch, and so before I sewed up this hemp fabric, Is this hemp or linen? I always get them confused. I think this one is hemp. And so before I sewed that up, and before I put this applique on here, I picked this piece of lace and this piece of tapestry, and then a couple of thin this is like ticking. I'm reading your comment, Denise. Okay, Denise's comment, let's just highlight that. Come on, switcher. Denise says, crazy, yeah. Need married 42 years and my hubby has at least 40. Oh, I think I just got it. 41 wives. Would that be 41 personalities, Denise? Anyways, I'm not a person who sews. I barely can use a machine. I used to do a lot of cross stitch with cross stitch. Yeah, typos are excused. I do them all the time. Especially if I'm on my iPad and I'm in a chat. There'll be like extra B's and stuff in the words. But I did all this freehand, so I didn't have a pattern to follow the X's, and I'm not a stitcher, so I just got in the mood to do it. Picked 3 different colors to play with, black, brown, and white, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces stitched on with what I was hoping was different stitches. And then so I glued the stuff down a little bit just to tack it, and then sewed it. And then I turned this inside out and sewed it so that there were seams, which I very rarely do. I mean, I know enough to make things dangerous. And then I was able to take the little piece off of my machine so that I had an arm, and I was able to go around this and do this stitch. And it was just a little too floppy for me, and I got the idea that I wanted 2 sections. So there's a section here and there's a section here, and I used this jam cardstock cream parchment, which is 65 pounds, and that gave it the stability that I'm happier with. And so I've got 2 sections, and I've got a little flap that would cover up 1 section in there. So then I can put little ephemera like this in here. So this is kind of little on the verge of medium ephemera. This is probably more medium ephemera. But then I have a little envelope here that I did, and I made a mistake. Go away. And I did this with regular paper. I should have backed it before I put it on. So it's very flimsy. This one is cardstock, so it's better. I wish this one was down here because I could manage that better. But this is just a piece of book page that I folded in so that the words were going the correct way. And it started to tear here, so I reinforced. You're welcome, Denise. This with age tape. And then what I did was I inserted this little envelope that I have. So this is actually, oh, I already have something in there. This is actually a pocket back here. So that's actually a pocket. And then this is glued down solid inside of here so that it won't catch on something if I put something in here. And then this could actually go in here in my pouch. So it will be fun. I love when I do things like this because I end up using them over and over again. Like I have another pouch that I made long time ago. I think it was around Ephemera last year, because I think I got this piece right here in a Ephemera share last year. I didn't do a swap partner the first year that I did Ephemera, and last year was my second Ephemera. So this is probably almost a year old. And every once in a while I see something that needs tidied. I thought that did, but that's actually just a tag that's stuck in there. I could stand to glue that down a little bit more, but this is my vintage book paper scraps, and I use this all the time and I love it. So my regular scrap bag isn't half as fun. I got this from the dollar store, but this one is full of vintage goodness. Okay, so actually I might just put the rest of my flowers, because they're not going to fit over on the other one either. I might put the rest of my flowers in here. No, I don't think that would be a good idea. These might be okay. Yes, I am. I love doing Ephemera. What the heck? I'm gonna put, you know what? I should just use that for decoration. Yep, that will be pretty on there. So what are we going to put underneath? Oh, I got an idea. This one. You are so welcome. I'm glad that you enjoy it. I was watching that video very close, but I didn't see the Tattered Bunny journal. I just saw the Ephemera. So this is what I laughed about. Denise said, "Such talent out there. I treasure my first Ephemera journal from you." Because I had a D-stash sale. Now, I don't know if it was like a couple of months ago. And because Carrie told people that I was having a D-stash sale, thank you, Carrie, Denise found my channel. I don't know if that was the first time you visited my channel or not, Denise. I can't remember now. But she popped in and saw what I was selling, and she bought quite a few items from me because I wanted to get rid of them, so they were dirt cheap. Oh, that is so neat. So you are physically using the Tattered Bunny journal. That is so neat. That makes me so happy to hear that. I've really been trying hard to encourage people to use their journal, or at least to give it a try, because it's a whole new dimension to junk journaling when you start actually using your journals, and it's just like falling in love with them all over again. So this year I finally pushed through. I mean, I've done some journaling, especially like when I'm doing the Junk Journal July or Junk Journal January. I was journaling a bit, you know, just writing some scripture verses or something like that, because I couldn't think of really, oh, thanks, Carrie. See, she said that Denise said she might not have found my channel if it wasn't for you. Anyways, this year I really started doing this. So there's stuff in here, but then I've got my calendars and my task lists, and I've got this is a wish list book in here, and then there's like just a little reminder of what collaborations I was doing at the time. I'm not doing the Marie Antoinette anymore, but I am doing 50 stack challenge. So, like, just little notes to myself. And I made my own little, let's see, I made my own little habit tracker. And there's 2 Timothy, no fear. That is my verse of the year, and maybe years to come, because it's a perfect verse for me. And then this is like work tasks that I'm working on. So I just am loving this. I think just those 2 little pieces, unless I want to put maybe, I want to put a little something underneath there. Oh, heck yeah. I love how this stuff tears. OMG. Which, for those of you who don't know me, OMG is oh my gosh, not oh my God, which is using the Lord's name in vain. Some people are even more of a stickler than I am, and they don't even, when my kids were little, I used to go to an independent Baptist church, and they were real sticklers. The women all wore dresses, and yeah, I did for a while just to fit in, and they were gossipy old women and stuff like that. And how did I get off on this tangent? Oh, they didn't even like crutch words. So I will say, because I'm not afraid to say things, as many of you know, that I have had a problem with a particular word that starts with the letter F. And to stop myself from doing that, I would say fudge. Well, that's a crutch word. And they didn't even like crutch words. I'm okay with crutch words. Heck, I think God's okay with you even saying the real F word, as long as you love Him. So that's where I stand. But it's just not a real pleasant word to use. So I made a transition. I like that. I like that a lot. Tell you what though, I don't criticize anybody for where they go to worship, really, because I know that God can put us in the right place at the right time, even though it may not seem like the right place to some people, because that church had a fantastic Awana program, fantastic, and my kids went to it, and my kids learned a lot of scripture that I might not have taken the time to encourage them in. You know, I've worked with them a lot for them to, because with Awana you have to study certain sections of the book, which is certain scriptures, and then you have to recite them to your Awana leader, and then you get those sections signed off. And my kids, at least the three older ones, Nina, Adam, Nathan, and Ari, probably the first four older ones, participated in that program a lot, and they learned a lot. Okay, so I still have these tickets, and I am at 1 hour and 20 minutes, so I might want to think about wrapping this up right here, tucking these things in here, and then on my own coming up with some ideas for these tickets, which, like, looking at these are like tickets, and maybe I need to, okay, let me do one thing real quick here. I'm thinking I should pull out my sticker book. And see if I have some small flat stickers. Sometimes it's hard for me to figure out where these things are, which side they're on. These are long and tall. Try to get the glue off my fingers. These tear very easily. This is some Taperology washi tape that I have, which Taperology is some of the first stuff that I bought. And then also, I was just thinking of something else. Oh yeah. Where is it? Must be in the other sticker book. What I got here? This doesn't look familiar to me. I don't even remember these. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is this? Transparent things. Transparencies. So these are not stickers, right? Goodness gracious. They're all over the place. So I don't think these are stickers. Aw. I'm glad you like the straw paper scraps that I got those from. I don't know if you know this already, but I got those from Rachel with Roxy's Creations. I don't really know how to use these. Any of you guys used these before? Huh. They're so slippery. That bird's pretty. Yeah, so I purchased a lot of my stuff from Rachel, and fortunately I've got a good supply of everything because I really don't need anything for one thing, so I wouldn't want to purchase for that reason. But also I don't have knowledge. I'm going to try that, of how much shipping is from Italy right now with tariffs. So, which is fine with me, because it's real slick, and I don't feel like it says transparencies, and I don't feel anything wanting to come up. Oh, sounds like Jeff is going to head out on his motorcycle. So let's take this. And anyways, I was about to say I am fine with the tariffs. I support everything that's happening in regards to that. And the bottom line is the United States of America does need to be fiscally responsible, in my opinion. And I look at that as a business owner as well. And I think that the country should be run like a business, so that we're not always freaking out about deficits and stuff like that. And I've always been the type of person who has believed that we need to start at home with making sure boy, this does not want to come up. Everybody is safe and healthy and happy, and then if you've got extra, then you can give outside of the home. Okay, so let's put that right there. Yep. So, and if it never becomes doable, I mean, for some of us, maybe we have a little bit extra income, disposable income, and we could afford, I don't know, $20, $30 worth of shipping to get some fabulous vintage type stuff from Italy. And all of Rachel's stuff is fabulous, I've got to say it. I'm glad that I made so many purchases of her things. Was going to see what that would look like. No, it's not transparent enough. Whoops. No, that is not transparent enough. But I think it's cool that we can still use our, overseas stamps, and we can send an envelope for Happy Mail to people. I love that. And I can send to Canada, or who else did I send to recently? Oh, I can't remember now. I swear that needs to come off of there. That is too thick. I'm gonna have to do some research on this, because my nail is not pulling anything up. I don't know what those would look good on. I guess it would look good on something like that. Let's see what the glue looks like. And then I gotta work hard to see which side is which. But I'm an American, so America first, and then anybody else who can be helped out is great. I would love to go visit some people that I've met online in other countries, but it's always America first for me, and that's the way it should be for people in other countries too, in my humble opinion. Okay, well, you can see through it a little bit. Okay, that's an idea, but we might see blood if I do that, Denise. So Denise was saying how she uses, a skinny blade paring knife to get the back off. But, so I've got like this, and we might see blood. Denise said scratch that idea. So all I'm doing is cutting. Oh, I got a thought. Okay. So what happens if I take one of these sanding things? Okay, so that's what happens. So the ink for the design of this is actually on the underside of there, and it's like, you know, burnt into the plastic or something. So it definitely is not a sticker. But I'm thinking that having it roughed up like that is kind of cool. Scissors, scissors, scissors. See, a lot of times we learn things together on my channel. I'm not an expert. I experiment and come up with ideas that way. So, and I love it when you guys join me on the journey for exploring these things and finding them out. And I'll tell you something else too. So I have many times talked about the idea or the fact that I'm not a seller. I am a de-stasher. And my de-stash is stuff that I've created and will never use, or I don't believe I will ever use it, because I can only use one journal at a time. I can play in 2 or 3 journals at a time. Here's what that one looks like. See if I can get different. But before I forget my thought, have there been times when you have been watching a video and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to try that, but then you like go to the person's Etsy store or you go to Amazon and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to spend all that money for 50 pieces. And if you have limited space like I do, your next thought is, where am I going to put all of that stuff? So keep in mind that I am the type of person, that if you reached out to me and said, hey, Theresa, you know, you've got all those extra transparencies, and you said in your video that you're probably not going to end up using all of them. Would you mind sending me a piece? And, you know, then I would just randomly pick out a piece, okay? And the thing is, that would be best for me, is if you sent me a self-addressed stamped envelope. So what that means, do I have envelopes handy? That means you would take some kind of envelope, whether it's a greeting card type envelope or something, and one envelope you would put like Denise Gardner, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, and zip code. So name, address, city, state, zip code. And then on here you would put Theresa, and then my my box office, my P.O. box is listed in the description. And then you would take this and you would fold it up. Oh, sorry, you would put a stamp on there, and you would fold it up and you would put it in another envelope, and that envelope you would address to me with a stamp, because you only need one stamp to send out a self-addressed stamped envelope, and a little note that says, Theresa, can you spare a piece of transparency? Theresa, can you spare a piece of wallpaper? I want to try wallpaper in my creations. And so, you know, I'm very precious with my wallpaper, so I might only give you a strip of it, but usually a strip is all you need. I mean, I used a big strip for this piece, but I don't usually use, I do, sometimes I might take this whole thing and fold it like that and put it in a journal. And I love to use this kind of thing as journal pages. But if you just want a small piece of something, you know, Theresa, do you have an extra piece of tapestry that you could, vintage tapestry? That would be so fun, because I'm following Rachel on one of her projects, and I want to be able to do the same thing Rachel's doing. So, do you have any of her tapestry? Do you have any of her rag paper? You know, I've got tons. So this whole thing is full, and a lot of it is rag paper. Well, not a lot of it, not right now. I've actually been using a lot, but here's a little piece of rag paper, and it has wormholes in it. Do you have a little piece of rag paper that has wormholes in it? And if you're like me, you are super weird, and this kind of thing just trips your trigger. You just love this kind of thing, and you'll be happy as a clam to just get a little piece of wormhole paper in the mail. So just saying, if that's something that's of interest to you, keep in mind that I am perfectly fine. I mean, I don't expect 100 people to send me self-addressed stamped envelopes and ask for all my stuff. And if it ever got to that point, then, you know, I might say something, update in a video, but I have no worries that something like that might happen. And shoot, I have several books from Italy in the next room. There's a cupboard in the next room. That one shelf is just for books, and a lot of them are my books from Italy that I've collected. Because there were times when I got a little crazy ordering from her. Thank you, Denise. That is very sweet. I bought a lot of books from her because it's kind of like FOMO, fear of missing out. I'd be afraid that she'd run out of books to sell, and I'd be afraid, are you like this too, where you might say I have only 3 tickets, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't use these tickets because once I use them, they'll be all gone and I won't have any more. So then I need to have a whole stupid roll of tickets to play with before I can use some of them, so that I don't have to worry about missing out. So this is coming together pretty good with making little ephemera with these tickets. There's a lot more you could do. I might put these in my splatter box and do some splatter with them. That would be fun, especially if like I just use this one little tiny sticker here. Whoops, I tore it. Come on, quit sticking to me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to salvage it. Okay, it just says yours. It's not going to say yours truly. Can't remember what I was talking about. Nope. Okay, so that's good for now. Oh, I know one more thing. Did I already say one more thing, like about one more things ago? Carrie says that she has a shed full of things that she hoards because she doesn't want to run out or use the last one. You definitely are a collector, Carrie. I'm going to get some of my rub-ons out. Whoops. They're right. Wait, I thought they were in here. Maybe not. I thought they were big, but they might be in the other book. Okay, they're in the other book. See these? See this right here? That's from Rachel. She takes her beautiful fabric and she stamps on them. And so by me putting this collage on here, this makes me think of her videos and the wonderful things that I've learned from her videos. So a lot of my stuff that I do for me is like a memory keeper. Like right there is a picture of my fourth oldest child, Ariana, when she was a baby. She was a very precious baby, very quiet. Okay, I was looking for my rub-ons. There they are. These are from Dollar Tree. And when I tried them last, I decided that I felt like these were better than the Taperology ones that I bought. Well, I don't know why that came off, but oh well. So let's see if I still feel like that. But I just want to add real quick while I'm thinking about it. Hoarding all this stuff, buying all this stuff, collecting all this stuff is not worthwhile if you're not going to organize it and put it in places where you can find it. Because it is so much fun to use this stuff, and you're not going to use it if you can't find it. I'm stepping off of my soapbox now, but I think it's important to remind people of that. I liked that one on good. I want to try one more. Something that will fit. What was the great tip that you got from Carrie, Denise? Have you seen my craft room tour video, Brenda? So Carrie showed some clear envelopes that I think she uses. Yes, and I believe I know exactly what you're talking about. One moment, please. Yes. Some of this is coming up, but still, oh my gosh, this is much better than the Taperology rub-ons that I bought. And even it doing that, I personally like that because it looks grungy, you know, old, whatever. But these are really cool, and I got these at the dollar store. So, back to those envelopes. I saw that video too, Denise. Yeah, it just might give you some ideas, Brenda. That's why I asked that. Because I live in a trailer. So this is a 39-foot toy hauler. And I'm in the garage area. And I have to really be conscientious about how I store things, because we travel, so every 6 months we go somewhere different, and so all this stuff has to be put in a spot and secured, and it all has to be condensed to one side of the trailer because the motorcycle comes in here and the motorcycle is transported. Let me ask you this, Denise. Are they the ones that she put in a binder? Are they these? They have a Velcro closure. And they have all these cool holes on them. So that they could go into different binders. Like this is a big 3-ring binder. Yep, I got it. The same idea from Carrie. Only when I had them, I wasn't in a place where I felt like I wanted to go to a thrift store and look for a binder. So I bought this one off of trying to find the zipper, off of Amazon, and it works good for me because it has a strap. I hang a lot of stuff, I hang things off of the handles on my trolleys and all kinds of things. So I put some of them in there, and I put some of them in here. And this has got a totally different binding system. I used book rings for this one. So these holes are perfect for interchanging them with different things. But then some of my envelopes are in here holding my big sticker sheets, and then the back side of this has my mixed media paper. Okay guys, so I'm going to just stick these tickets in here. This one is done. And this one is done. These are done, but they won't go in together. You're so welcome. I enjoyed doing it, Brenda. Thanks for chatting with me. So this is my little ephemera booklet. Okay, that all goes there, and then we're going to put the belly bands back on. This belly band goes here. And so this is kind of chunky now. It's got a chunky front, which I didn't take into consideration when I decided to do it. So let's see if my belly band's going to go on. Yep. I need to decorate that belly band. So then I just line it up and press it down. And did it stick? It's sticking. Yeah, it doesn't stick real great, but it does work. And then off camera I will find something to decorate the front of this with, kind of like what I did with this. I think something, only I'm not doing any more I'm done slow stitching probably for, I think I do it once or twice a year. It's so much easier to glue. I don't know that I want to use that whole piece for that, because this might be my last piece actually. So too big. I want just a little something in the middle. Yeah, just something like that. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up because we gotta let Denise go find her mail. I wished I could put that butterfly on there, but I don't want to cover up all my papers. Okay, I am done. I'm seriously, for sure, I'm done. Thank you very much for taking time to chat with me and watch this video. Thanks everybody watching the video and the replay. I hope that everybody has a wonderful Saturday, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.